Hello, and welcome to Appleton Engaged. I'm your host, Timber Smith, Special Assistant to the Mayor for Community, Culture, and Belonging.
And I'm Sarah Schneider, Mobility Manager with Valley Transit.
And Appleton Engaged is a podcast that explores the many people, organizations, and resources that make our community a great place to live, work, and play. So whether you're a longtime resident or just getting to know Appleton, join us as we learn more about our community together.
Timber, I continue to be amazed in the years that we've been doing this podcast that you keep finding amazing guests.
Oh, facts.
I think we're going to lean a little bit more on the play side of the Appleton Engaged podcast today, though, because I think we're going to learn a lot about this resource, and I can't deny how excited I am.
Oh, Sarah, you on the play on words today.
That is so right. I'm glad you caught that.
You like that?
I got that.
All right. Well, also, happy podcast day.
Glad to be here.
All right. Well, this week's guest is Dr. Christopher Jenkins, Dean, the University of Lawrence's Conservatory of Music. Hey, Christopher, how are you doing?
I'm great. How are you doing, Timber?
I'm doing pretty well. I'm pretty excited about this conversation also because, music is exciting. Lawrence is awesome. But before we go any further, can you please tell us a little something about yourself and your association with Appleton and the surrounding Fox Cities region?
Sure. So I moved here in July to be Dean of the Conservatory of Music at Lawrence from New York City. I live downtown with my wife and 2 kids, and we love it down there. The energy of the environment is really engaging. The people are extremely kind. We moved here from Cleveland, Ohio, but like I said, I'm originally from New York, and I'm definitely a New Yorker. So when I meet extremely kind people, it's still a little confusing to me, but I'm getting used to it.
Don't tell me that Midwest nice is like setting it off.
You have to translate the Midwest nice. It's code, right? And I'm starting to crack the code. It's taken me 10 years. Give me another 10 years, I'll get there.
There you go.
So I was at Oberlin Conservatory in Ohio for about 10 years, and I earned 2 doctorates while I was there, a PhD in musicology and a DMA in viola performance. I wrote a book about equity and diversity in music education when I was there also. And before that, I actually lived in the Middle East teaching music programs for children. Diverse range of experiences, and I'm really happy to bring all of those to Appleton.
I think that's pretty exciting for Lawrence, it sounds like it.
I hope so.
We know so.
Sure. So this resource is Lawrence University's Conservatory of Music, located in downtown Appleton. It was established in 1874. We celebrated our 150th anniversary last year. And our main purpose is to bring education, certainly, but also high-quality arts performances to the greater community of Appleton and the Fox Cities.
I'm just going to ask because I don't know, what is a conservatory? What does that really mean?
Yeah, it's a great question. So a conservatory really means that we are training students to be performers, first and foremost. It's a pre-professional training program, meaning that we want our students to go out and become chamber musicians, jazz musicians, orchestral musicians, to have a real career in the performing arts. And it's definitely true this is so challenging, especially in the U.S. There are plenty of conservatory students who ultimately don't end up working full-time as musicians, but they find really rewarding careers in the performing arts in many other roles.
What would some of those roles look like? I'm picturing symphonies, even Broadway shows, but I can't say I'm very informed about the arts, so I'd love you to share more.
Yeah, so certainly one can work for an orchestra. There are so many roles that are really essential and necessary in terms of managing personnel, managing backstage, dealing with music and libraries, all kinds of things that have to be administered in order for those organizations to function really effectively. And there are armies of grant writers for arts programs. There are all kinds of things that people can actually do that are really productive economically to support the arts outside of just playing their instruments.
Lawrence's Conservatory is pretty well known, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
What makes it so well known? Why is this such a big part of Lawrence University?
So I really feel that this conservatory is unique in the U.S. We do all the things that a standard conservatory does. We have orchestra, we have choirs, we have all that good stuff. And those things are amazing and they're being done at a very high level. But we also have so many professors who can teach multiple styles of music, which is unusual. We have folks who can teach classical music and jazz. We have a percussion teacher who also can teach samba and runs a samba group for students. We have a gamelan ensemble. We have plenty of courses in improvisation and different modal types of music. That's really not what typically happens in a conservatory. So that's one of the reasons that I was drawn here and why I'm so proud to be representing the Lawrence University Conservatory of Music.
So, in your past roles, what would you say was the most influential, or even maybe before even entering into the higher ed and PhD level, what really inspired you to pursue this path or get you where you are?
Well, definitely a big part of it was performing in New York City. I was a freelancer there for a long time, and I played in some chamber groups, and I got to sub in the New York Philharmonic and the St. Louis Symphony and in the ballet and with various opera companies. Played on Broadway. I played Lion King, Spamalot, all these kinds of shows. Those are things that one typically does in New York City. I played in Carnegie Hall all the time. That's kind of a secret of Carnegie Hall. They get rented out all the time, right? So if you live there and you're a freelancer and you get into the right circle, you will play there all the time. I think understanding what that life is and how exciting and energetic it is motivates me to help students get there because it's really a special place to be and it's very difficult to elevate oneself to the position in which you have access to that kind of work.
You mentioned the word students. How many students are in the programs that you are overseeing?
So we have about 300 students in the conservatory. One other feature of Lawrence that's so unique is that the conservatory teaches all students. So we teach Bachelor of Music students, we teach Bachelor of Arts students. Those are just different degree programs, right? And typically a conservatory will really shut out all but the performance majors, but the Bachelor of Music students. But we include Bachelor of Arts students, so we teach folks who are majoring in economics or computer science if they want to sing or play the violin or play saxophone or whatever it might be. Our numbers are sort of fluid, right, because it's hard to count what exactly a conservatory student is. We kind of serve the whole population at various times.
So I look at the Lawrence campus, and having not been a student there, I just see a lot of buildings, and yet I've been in many of those buildings. Is there a physical structure to conservatory? Or when you say you serve the whole campus, are you in everywhere?
Yeah, so our physical structure is right off of College Ave and Drew, basically. The music drama building was built there in the 1950s. And then behind that, if you see not the Lawrence Arch that's on the corner, but an arch that's a bit set off from the street, that is a building called Shattuck, which was built in the 1990s. This is the main area for the conservatory. And inside music drama, we have a lovely concert hall that was renovated last year titled Harper Hall. It's fantastic. We have lots of concerts there, and most of them are free to the public.
Now, I've been lucky enough to be in some places and Lawrence students were there playing. How does that happen? Is there an opportunity to partner with the university or partner with your program and incorporate Lawrence students into performances with different events?
Absolutely. And this is something that is really critical for me that I would like to really foreground and something that we've been doing for a long time. We have a program titled Music for All, where chamber groups of students go out into the community and play at various locations that our coaches have found. So it's not uncommon that you might go into a space and hear or see Lawrence Conservatory students performing. And we're working to really expand that activity and especially get our jazz groups out more into the community. So they're playing in coffee shops and cafes up and down College Ave. I think we have so much to offer the community, and keeping it inside the walls of the conservatory is probably not the best way to handle it, right? So we'd like to get out there.
Do you publish that anywhere? I'm sorry to interrupt, but do you publish that anywhere? Because That would be really interesting to know. Personally, I am a jazz person. I'd love to show up where they're performing, if that's a possibility.
So one of the things I'd like to do is to really investigate new community partners, and particularly audiences that would have an interest in the things that we do. Where should we be advertising? Where should we be making sure that different groups are aware of what we do? And so if you are running a program like this where you think, oh man, I really wish that my students or my constituency could know more about where to hear Lawrence students, you should definitely reach out to me and we can talk about it.
What I really heard you say is if you have a space for my students to play, you should reach out to me because maybe we can talk about it.
Oh, yeah, but it's, yes, a space, and it's more than that, right? Because I'm also saying if you have a community that you think would benefit from interaction in which we would mutually benefit, the students would also benefit, right? That's what I want to talk about. Because we can find spaces, and that's just sort of like the students drop in and then they go home. But to be in relationship with the different constituencies here and the communities is really what I would like to do.
No, that makes sense. So Appleton Engaged listeners, as you are listening to this episode, I can already hear the wheels turning. Somebody right now is listening and saying, let's get to that part where we give that information, but we will get there.
That's right. I was thinking the exact same thing. And my wheels are turning. That's probably what you're hearing right now.
Is that what's going on? I feel you, Sarah.
Exactly. So I have heard you also kind of drop different titles: coaches, teachers, instructors, and beyond that, do you have volunteers? Do you have student mentors? How do you accomplish all that you do through that?
So we have quite a few faculty members from all over the world, really, and they're extremely skilled. They're extremely experienced. The titles that we use, really what's mostly happening in a conservatory setting is musical mentorship, and that's both really musical and personal at the same time. The relationship between students and their teachers is very close. We usually spend 4 years. Our undergraduate experience is spent with a single teacher under their mentorship. And so, coaches, teachers, instructors, it doesn't necessarily matter for most musicians. We're thinking about the nature of that close relationship where someone's guiding your musical development for 4 years.
What is a myth or a misunderstanding that you think people might have about the conservatory?
I think people might feel that we are inaccessible. And I would say I would like us to be as accessible as possible. And part of that has to do with learning more about what the community wants to see from us and wants to hear and what we can do for the community. So again, that might involve reaching out to somebody like myself so that we can have a conversation about what you want to see. But I would say the doors that lead to Harper Hall right off of College Ave are open. They're open for the public to come in and to experience all of the free concerts that we have in Harper Hall. Most nights of the week at 7:30 p.m., there's going to be something awesome going on in Harper Hall in the music drama building of the conservatory. And that is all free. It is all open to the public.
Oh, wow. I didn't realize that it was like that. Like it's
Like
always
that.
happening.
It's like that. Yeah, always happening while we're in session. And then in the summer, we have various music festivals that we host, especially the Lawrence Chamber Music Festival, which happens usually at the end of July, going into Mile of Music. Several concerts for that. And also in the community, we have the Lawrence Summer Music Institute for high school students, which will be in mid-July in 2026. We have concerts for that. And most importantly, I would mention our Performing Arts Series, which is what I wanted to get to. Most of our concerts are free. The Performing Arts Series is a ticketed series of events. For those, we bring artists from across the globe who are extremely high level, and our faculty students are part of the audience for that, but especially that's intended for the public.
Oh, and now I'm really interested. I feel like we need to learn more. That's all I'm hearing every time you say something is there's a lot of opportunity here to engage with some really high level musicians, and we need to learn more.
I would agree. Every time we ask a question, it's like unveiling a whole new level and a layer to this resource. So these faculty that come in from all over the world, or these performers that come in from all over the world, does that position Lawrence University to be highly competitive? Like, are students competing to come here?
Oh, they definitely are. And it is events like the Performing Arts Series that helps raise our profile so that we can continue to attract students who are competitive in the conservatory space. But more than that, we're really intending to help entertain, enlighten, educate the community with the kinds of events that we have for that series. We have a large number of concerts every year. Some of them are in the chapel, in Memorial Chapel, just off College Ave. Some of them are in Harper Hall, which is in that music drama building right off College Ave. We have, on February 2nd, a South African singer, Namfusi, coming to Harper Hall at 7:30. And we have also our regularly scheduled jazz weekend event, which is in Memorial Chapel. So for that, hundreds of jazz students from all around the region and as far as Minneapolis will come to Lawrence for clinics, master classes, workshops with our jazz faculty. And we hire 2 guest artists, one on Friday. On Saturday, we have a Mexican jazz singer this year and a jazz drummer, Ari Honig, also who has performed with the LU Jazz Band. And I should mention that our student jazz band regularly wins awards from Downbeat Magazine about every year, actually.
Wow. I'm continuing to be impressed. And I love that every reference you have is community, community, community. So I'm wondering if there's a narrative that you could share to help listeners understand the importance and the impact and, quite frankly, the amazing talent you are showcasing.
Yeah, so I think what I would highlight actually is how critical it is for Appleton and Lawrence to strengthen our partnership and remain in robust community with one another. So, Lawrence's founding actually predates the town of Appleton. The university was founded in, I think, 1847, and then the town in 1853, and then the Conservatory of Music, like I said, in 1874. So there's always been a really powerful symbiotic relationship there. And, the university houses students downtown, and they contribute to the economy and the vibrancy of Appleton. But also so much of the new construction that's happened downtown is representative of the power of the partnership that we have, right? So the new West Campus building, which you can see on the corner of College and Drew, is such a great example because it houses faculty offices for our faculty in music, data science, and math, and other disciplines. But then also the Trout Museum is housed there. And there are 40 residential apartments, I believe, for rent. So we're adding to the vibrancy of the community in so many ways by partnering with all these different groups. And then, of course, across the street from that building, you can see the Lawrence Arch, which is relatively new. So the university is doing a lot of work to beautify the downtown and draw foot traffic there to support local businesses. And that's really because the university cannot be strong unless Appleton is strong. So it's really important for residents and community members to understand that the university is also there to provide educational opportunities for everyone through our arts programs and communications. And also, our education students often end up remaining in the area and teaching your children.
Facts. Cannot stress that importance of that relationship between the city of Appleton and Lawrence University and how they both improve each other.
And I want to add, I love the emphasis on bringing music to the schools and the younger generation because perhaps you could validate this, but I have been taught or told that music actually helps analytical ability and basically all other aspects of life.
That's true. And I think what's actually more important to emphasize, though, is its ability to aid in social skills. So we're all very concerned, I think, about the younger generation's intersection with technology and phones and tablets and their attention spans and how they interact with one another. To play music together, you have to be in a relationship, physically in the same space. It's kind of unlike almost any other activity like that, except maybe sports, right? But you have to be communicating and communicating non-verbally. So there's a host of social skills and emotional intelligence that is built into that really gets amplified when you're engaging in music making.
So I know you mentioned a few events, but are there any additional upcoming initiatives, events, or engagement opportunities?
Well, the most important thing I think for the public to know about is our Performing Arts series. and to keep an eye out, especially in the spring when we announce the 26-27 season. I'm really excited with some of the things that we're planning. I can't announce them yet, but I think they're going to be spectacular for the city. And you can find more information about those pretty easily. If you just search for Lawrence Performing Arts Series, you'll find the webpage immediately, and you can buy tickets there. And you can also email just boxoffice@lawrence.edu. You can call us 920-832-6749. And you can email me whenever you'd like. Chris Jenkins, I'm the Dean of the Conservatory, christopher.s.jenkins@lawrence.edu. I'm happy to hear from anyone and everyone.
I love that personal invitation, and that makes you that much more accessible for all the great information you've shared today. So, Chris, you have shared so much around community, which lends me to invite you to share what exactly you think the community can do to be helpful.
Sure. So I'm very invested in finding community partners. We would love to work with organizations in the community, especially in terms of bringing student musicians out, but also learning from you what you need from us. And I would mention also that we have so many concerts for which our program books are excellent sponsorship opportunities. So our Performing Arts Series obviously hosts many artists, and there are lots of attendees, lots of eyeballs on those. We would love to place ads for program partners, community partners, where it's appropriate, and our sponsors in our program book. The Lawrence Community Music School especially has concerts in the chapel for about 5,000 attendees per year, and we'd be very happy to entertain more corporate sponsors for that program.
You kind of mentioned some of the contact information. Can we review that contact information? How can people, if they want to learn more, reach out to you in the conservatory?
Absolutely. So, again, I can be reached via email, just christopher.s.jenkins@lawrence.edu. You can also find that info online. If you search for it, it's out there. Our box office is just at boxoffice@lawrence.edu. And you can also call them 920-832-6749.
Okay. Is there any additional things that you would like to share with Appleton Engage listeners that maybe we did not ask a question about?
I just want to make sure everybody knows this is a really special town. You know, they call it the Little Apple, right? The arts capital of the Midwest. And I think that's genuinely true. The things that I've seen here so far have been really amazing.
That's awesome to hear.
What a great compliment, and thank you. And welcome to our great community. We're pretty proud of it as well.
Thank you.
So even though you've been here a short time, there's probably a lot of people you want to give a shout out to. So I'd love to extend that opportunity to you.
Yeah, so I got to give a shout out to President Lori Carter, president of the university, who brought me here. Her support is really invaluable in the conservatory as we're positioning ourselves for success. And also to my wife, Anne, who's working right now in Lawrence's education department, and our kids, Anderson and August, and our dog, Bruce. So if you see a guy walking a short-haired boxer in the morning in City Park, that's me.
Perfect. I look forward to seeing you in City Park.
Hey, that is fantastic.
It really is.
That is awesome. Well, Dr. Chris, I just want to take this moment on behalf of us here today and the Appleton Engage listeners and say thank you.
Thank you, Timber. It's great to be here.
At this time, Appleton Engage listeners, we're going to start wrapping up this episode. So thank you for spending time with us. Thank you for giving us your minds and ears. Thank you for caring about another amazing resource, helping to make our community a better place. What a fantastic resource. I don't know about you, but I've had the opportunity to go to some of the venues on campus where performances happen, and they are awesome. They are intimate. They make just great musical experiences. So if you haven't had the chance, you need to go check it out. And as you could tell, we got an open invitation there to come check out some of the great talent that is on Lawrence University's campus. Now, you already know, Appleton Engage listeners, the goal of Appleton Engage, we are trying to become the #1 podcast in Northeast Wisconsin, and we can't do it without your help. So while you listen to this episode and you're thinking, Timber, why didn't you ask this? Well, let us know. and you're thinking right now, oh, I know who would be a great guest, or I would make a great guest, you should let us know. So reach out to us at belonging@appletonwi.gov. Once again, that is belonging@appletonwi.gov. Once again, also, we believe that an informed community, a community that we know where our resources are, is a community that builds belonging. And we are that community. We want to be that community. But what we also want to do is we want to get more community members aware of this amazing resource known as the Appleton Engage podcast. And we do that through analytics. So as you are listening, if you see the opportunity to give us stars, give us 5. If you see the opportunity to subscribe, press that button. And if you see the opportunity to write a review, take a few moments and write that review for us. These are all things that increase our analytics, and the better our analytics are, the more community members learn about this amazing resource known as the Appleton Engaged podcast.
And I appreciate our listeners for leaning into this great conversation and probably learning as much as we did and are intrigued to learn more as we are. And so for our Appleton Engaged listeners, I just want to invite you to come along with us. And until next time, stay thoughtful, stay curious, and stay engaged.